All right, what is up, my spectacular students? This is Professor G here, and I am pleased to meet each and every one of you. I am so excited about working with each and every one of you throughout this semester, spring 2020, these coming weeks. So anyway, I just want to give you sort of a walkthrough video. Welcome. You already had the welcome. Welcome. Excited y'all are here, and I'm expecting great things out of you guys, and I'm expecting you guys to experience and encounter great things. So I want to walk through your courses. This video walkthrough is for Business 139 and 151. Give me a second. Having some coffee in my big cup. Everyone say big cup. Got a little French vanilla action going on. So anyway, I like to do these walkthrough videos because, in online, it's always a challenge for students to really get the, what am I trying to say? Feel like they've got the professor in the classroom, and I certainly don't want online students to feel less than their seated counterparts, and certainly online needs to be as much of an equal and valid choice for students as seated. So I try very much to sort of do these little extra things so you guys can really feel like we're here, like you're in the classroom, like we're making that connection and you're making connections with each others, et cetera, et cetera. So that being said, a little bit about me. My name is Matthew Gargano, aka Professor G. I've been an educator for over 16 years, specializing in business and career development. I'm also a business owner. I have a personal and professional life coaching business. I am also a pastor. I am also an author. Just authored my second book, and also a professional writer. I'm also a father and a grandfather. I know that's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, so I say all these things not to be braggadocious, but to say all these things that I leverage my professional experiences to really bring into the classroom, whether it's online or whether it's seated, my professional world, because I very much believe in creating experiences for my students. And that's why we'll talk about the weekly experience folders. I am a big believer in all that I do, excuse me, whether it's having the privilege to stand before and serve my students, my clients in my personal professional life coaching, as a pastor, as an author. I very much like to create experiences for people. So rather than me just sitting down each semester and just doing a course copy, like here's your course, I create my courses each semester with the mentality that I want to create an experience for you to be able to step into. Think of it like a buffet. Like, I don't know how many people like Golden Corral. I love Golden Corral, right? So you go to Golden Corral, right? It's a buffet. You got all these different stations of different foods and entrees and appetizers and desserts, and you kind of get your plate and you go there and you start putting those items that appeal to you and that you enjoy experiencing. Well, it's no different with education. I want to be able to set a buffet for you guys where you guys really step into that experience. You don't go away empty. You got your plate. Fill your plate with those knowledge nuggets that are going to nourish you. I very much want to create experiences for you to step into and utilize all 5 of your senses. Maybe not literally, but figuratively at least, and in some cases literally. So that's what I like to do, and just a little bit about that. So I very much try to bring my, again, real world experience into the classroom. And the courses at JCC that I most commonly teach, which I am very excited about, is Intro to Business 110, Business 139, Entrepreneurship, and Business 151, People Skills. Because again, if you look at the common thread that is woven throughout those things that I endeavor in and do in my professional life, the common threads are around business, entrepreneurship, and people skills. So I'm very passionate about these areas. And I love to be able to hopefully convey that sense of passion to you all. So that being said, let's get into the course in 1 second. So I want to put up a picture right quick. All right. So this is a cartoon that's been around for a while, and it talks about the current education system, right? So you see here, you've got the professor, and he's administering a test, right? He's saying, well, an assessment. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree, right? Now, some of these creatures, right, like the monkey, no problem, easy peasy, climb that tree with a quickness. Now, the elephant may have a little problems, except if, technically him reaching his trunk up satisfies the requirements of the exam. Fish, no way. The penguin, forget about it. So the point is, not every artifact, and by artifact I mean the type of assignment. So if you have a written assignment, it's considered a written artifact. If you have a verbal assignment, it's a verbal artifact. A project driven is project. Does that make sense? So not every artifact necessarily is a good indicator of one's ability to demonstrate what they know. What do I mean by that? Most students, myself included, when I was in college like 1,050,000 years ago, did not do well on tests. That's why I don't give tests and quizzes in any of my classes. Now, don't confuse not having tests and quizzes with being easier. It's not, okay? I want you guys to have a good, rigorous, effort-filled experience. So I don't do quizzes and tests for the reason that I was never a good test taker. And so that being said, and in fact, studies show that, though that an exam, a traditional exam or quiz is not necessarily a reliable artifact or instrument by which students can reliably show what they know, so to speak, indicate and show that they understand the competencies of the course, right? Why? Because most people, somebody can do extremely well on a test or an exam. That doesn't necessarily mean they know the stuff. Somebody can do very poorly on a test or exam, aka myself, and that doesn't mean that they don't know it. So I say all this to say, and I included this Albert Einstein quote along with this cartoon, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid, right? And so that being said, I think that's very powerful. That being said, I create a whole different type, I create many different types of artifacts for you as a student to really be able to demonstrate reliably that you know what you know. We're going to talk about this. So you don't have one that's going to necessarily make or break you. So a little bit about my teaching philosophy here. So now what I want to do is I want to get into the course. And as I stated, this walkthrough video is going to be the same for both online Business 139, Entrepreneurship 1, and online Business 151, People Skills, both sections 1 and 2, because you guys that were in section 2, either in Entrepreneurship or 151, you all got rolled into section I1. So I'm going off the 139, but again, it's relevant for both as I set my courses up in a very similar format, because there are some students who take both Business 139 or 151 and even 110, although I'm not teaching 110 online this semester, only seated. There are a number of students who will take multiple courses of mine each semester, online and seated. And for those of you who take them online, I want you to sort of have the same flow in the same format. So that being said, here's my instructor information. Again, Professor G is what I go by. You can call me Professor Gargano, Professor G. You can call me G. You can call me Gargano. Those are your options. All about options here. email, phone. There's my building location. Now, these are my office hours. Please know, as online students, I get that, you're online for a reason. You either desire or require that level of flexibility to not be tethered down to a specific location at a specific time. That being said, I'm very flexible with my office hours, both whether you're online or you're seated student. We can meet in person. We can meet over the phone. We can meet virtually in my Zoom room. You'll just need to, if you decide to do that, you'll need to email me for my Zoom room address or via business Skype. All of you at Johnston Community College have, as part of your tuition, access to Office 365. Okay. So when you log into your Johnston Community College website and you click on your student email and you log in, either in the upper right or left, you'll see an Office 365 install. You are eligible to install that on multiple computers. I'm not sure of the number. You'll need to call the JOLT department for that. It's either, I think, 3 or 5, but again, don't quote me on that. Part bundled in that is your business Skype, okay? You can also business Skype me. That's also a virtual IM tool. And it's an IM tool for virtual instant messaging and also video. You would download it, you'd search for my name, Matthew Gargano, and you can do it that way. When I have my office hours, I have my business Skype up. So those are options for you for meeting. So now let's talk about the syllabus. So in both Business 139 and Business 151, you have two documents, the syllabus and the course assignment worksheet schedule. I spend a lot of time creating the course assignment worksheet schedule each semester because it's a great tool that I have found that I've gotten good feedback on for students to be able to really keep track of their assignments. I try as much as possible to position, again, those that I have the privilege of serving, and I do consider serving you as your professor service and also a privilege. So I really want to position you guys to be as successful as possible. Part of that is obviously the welcome video, the walkthrough, the way I set up my courses, which hopefully you'll think is fun. A lot of students, I get really good feedback from previous. They really like the cool little sort of weekly things that I put in the weekly folders. You learn in business and in people skills. Little things move the needle in a big way, okay? Give you a quick case in point. American Airlines, this was just in the paper a couple weeks ago, by removing one single olive, think about this, one single olive off of their salads for their in-flight meals saved $50,000 a year. Who thought by removing one little tiny itty bitty olive you can save 50,000 smackaronis? But they did. And in business, not just business, but other areas, which includes people skills, it's the what you say and how you say it. But the little things that you do can move the needle in a big way. So I use that philosophy, and there's one of your first life lessons in terms of business and other areas. So you've got your syllabus, and again, if you're in 139, you click on it. If you're in 151, you've got the 151 syllabus, and then you've got the course assignment worksheet schedule. So let's just go through the syllabus right quick. I'm going to click on it to download, and again, I'm downloading the 139, so you're in 151. Again, same thing with the way I do my courses. Format-wise, I also try to be consistent with my syllabi as well. So let's go ahead and open that. Now that I don't know. There we go. Okay. I got my little thing down there that got stuck in it. So really quickly, and again, pull up your syllabus. It will apply for both. Let me do one page. Let me do big 100. Again, there's the information, syllabus overview. Please read this. Course information, read this. Drop deadline. Make sure that you know that the last day to drop this course without grade penalty is March 26th, but I know none of you would drop this course because you're going to love it and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I learned so much. And it was fun. I also provide a link to the academic calendar. Please make sure you click on that link. I provide that link for a reason because it's important for you to know the what's going on at the college that's important to you. In other words, days off that the college is closed, so you don't show up even if you don't have a class because you're taking them online. What if you show up to do some business and the college is closed? Also important dates, right? Important dates as far as registration, advising. We talked about a drop date. So please familiarize yourself with the academic calendar. It's your responsibility. There's my faculty information, course description, read that format. You'll have the student learning outcomes. You've got your required textbook. Please read this. This is important information about the course. Again, I'm not going to cover these things because you can read them. If you have questions, feel free to email me. Tentative course schedule, that's where your course assignment worksheet schedule comes into play, and I'll cover that in a minute. So here's your evaluation methods, right? And again, I try to keep the format the same. And as I stated, as I stated in the education cartoon I just showed you, for that reason, I try to provide a variety of different artifacts for you to be able to really show what you know and have fun doing it. And I've taken out, hopefully, the stress and anxiety of quizzes and exams. Again, you're still going to work hard, but you're going to work hard in a way that hopefully is going to be better in line with how you're equipped to demonstrate the competencies that you are expected to learn and show what you know. So weekly discussion posts, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And when I say weekly discussion posts, here's the deal. I give you one discussion post every 2 weeks, and your first one will start will be opened up on Tuesday. The reason why every 2 weeks, so they are weekly technically, and let me tell you why. Because really what I'm expecting is, and again, let's take a step back. Let's back the bus up for a second. Since the course opened up on Tuesday, your weeks, the way I set your weeks up, because I'm a simple guy, I like to keep things simple. Your weeks start on Tuesday. So week 1 started on Tuesday the 7th. Week 2 is the 14th, etc. So that's the way your weeks run. Let me just make sure I'm giving you the right dates. Yes. So week 1 started the 7th. Week 2 starts the 14th. Week 3 the 21st. To see how that rolls. So based on feedback from a number of you last year, I heard you and I incorporated it. I expanded the weekly discussion posts to be due every 2 weeks. So even though they're weekly, you have 2 weeks to complete them from start to finish. And let me explain what that means. I require a discussion post to have 2 parts to be grade worthy. Okay. Part 1 is you must post an initial post, and please make sure you read what I'm requiring in the post, because I do consider the post as an actual assignment. Therefore, most posts, not all. So your first initial post, I want to let you, get into the water, slowly get into that water. So I sort of throw you a softball to begin with. I don't have a minimum number of words, but most posts after that, not all, there is a minimum word count, and it's usually between 200 and 250 words. So you want to make sure that you read what I'm asking you to post. You include all the aspects or the elements of that post. You meet the minimum word count if there is one, and that is your initial post. Now, to do word count, Microsoft Word has a cool feature. You can, type it up in Word first, which is what I recommend. That way you can take time, make sure you've answered it thoroughly, go through, make sure you spell check it. Don't post the way you text. This is a professional class. I expect you to write professionally, right? Use proper capitalization, syntax, and semantics, things of that nature. And then Word's got this really cool thing at the bottom. My little screencastify is in the way, but right underneath that, there's an actual word and character count. There's a difference. You don't want to go by character count. You want to go by word count, and that'll tell you, are you doing the minimum? So that first week, so your first initial post will be available to you on the 14th, this coming Tuesday. You will have a week to respond with your initial post, and then you will have an additional week to reply to at least 2 of your classmates in a meaningful way. So I'm looking for 3 posts for each weekly discussion posts. An initial post, which is due the following Tuesday after the post is done. So again, in this case, your first weekly post will be available to you. Actually, I made it available to you today, so you have a little bit extra time to do it. But if you go according to your course assignment worksheet, weekly discussion post for that week where it says that it's coming out, you'll have a week for your initial, and then you'll have another week to respond to at least 2 of your classmates, okay? That's where the whole 2-week turnaround time, and that came from in the past where I've had students say, you know, I try to get, I post my initial post, but a lot of folks are slackers. Don't be slackers. Say to yourself, don't be a slacker. Other people are counting on you, and most importantly, you're counting on yourself. You need to be who you need to be for you so you can be who you need to be for others, right? Not just in these courses, but in life in general, right? So my point is students would say, man, it was stressing me out because I would do my initial post, but by the time people started posting, I had to scramble to get my 2 reply posts in. I was like, yeah, that's no good. I want you guys to learn, right? So for the sake of everyone, please make sure you do your initial posts as quickly as possible, knowing that I'm leaving each week's post up for the full 2 weeks. But that being said, help each other out, be kind to each other. During that initial weekly post, make sure you get your initial post done within that first week, Tuesday to Tuesday, and then you have a whole nother week to respond to at least 2 of your fellow classmates. Your response does not have to be a minimum, okay? But I do want it to be meaningful. It could be meaningful and still not have a minimum. What do I mean by that? Don't be like, yeah, great post. I agree with you. Good job. That does not provide meaningful feedback. Meaningful feedback when you're responding to a classmate is, I really liked when you said because, or this really resonated with me because, or have you considered? Here's the other thing, y'all. Replies can be constructive. That means that they're always going to be positive, right? I'm a big believer in civil discourse and civility. In this day and age, civility has gone out the window, and it's very disheartening. It's very disheartening. We can agree to disagree. You could have different views than I do, whether they're politically, religious, lifestyle, fill in the blank, but we could all still treat each other with respect. So even in our posts, be kind, treat each other with respect, right? No negative, no tearing people down. If you disagree, hey, that's your right. That's why we live in my opinion, the greatest country on earth, because you have the right to state your opinions. Now, state your opinion only if I ask for opinion. Otherwise, discussion posts are based on facts and evidence, right? Now, certainly, if you have an opinion after you stated your fact and evidence, you can say, I really liked when you said, however, have you considered this? So that's what I'm talking about, constructive. So just to review, discussion posts to be grade worthy, I've got to see 3 posts. I've got to see an initial post, and please get it done by the following Tuesday, where you've met all the requirements of the post in terms of what I'm asking for. If there is a minimum, and again, most times I do put a minimum with few exceptions, including the initial post, and then at least 2 replies to a classmate, okay? If you do not meet that minimum threshold, it will not be grade worthy, and you will earn a 0 for that post. So don't text or don't email me and be like, oh, come on, you didn't grade my, because I'm just telling you, right? And I'm not trying to be mean. I want you guys to get a great experience, and I want you to put forth effort that you're going to feel good about. Weekly preps. So your discussion posts are posted the week that they are scheduled to come out, which is according to your course assignment worksheet schedule. Your weekly preps, those are corresponding your chapter Learn Smart. I put those all out there. So if you guys want to work ahead, you want to read ahead on your chapter and work ahead on your chapter, go for it. You've got articles that are due, and I put the information in the articles. You've got an article template. For those of you in my Business 139, you need to provide your articles from entrepreneur.com magazine, and I provided the link. For those of you in my Business 151, I have given you the articles that I want you to respond to and critique, okay? And I've given both sets, the 139 and the 151. You must complete and submit your articles using the article submission template. Case studies, you've got case studies. I've already released the first 3 to 4 case studies depending on the course. Again, you could work ahead to make sure you've read the corresponding chapter because you will need it to do the case studies. Research paper and presentation, please review that in your course assignment worksheet schedule, and I will talk about that a little later. In week 3, I'll put a little launch video in each of, a little video, not a launch video, a little video in each of the courses about your research paper because they're different based on the course that you have. Let's continue. Okay, very important. All Blackboard assignments must be submitted in the required format in the correct Dropbox and by the due date. I don't accept late assignments. I don't accept late assignments. I don't accept late assignments. Turn to yourself and say, self, Professor G does not accept late assignments. You've got your whole course assignment worksheet schedule. I give you guys plenty of time to do stuff 2 weeks in advance. You've got plenty of time. All assignments are due on Tuesday. So if some of you are like, man, but I'm used to Sunday. Well, guess what? You can still do them on Sundays if you want to. Think about it. I'm giving you guys a full, delicious 2-week turnaround time for your assignments. They're due on Tuesday, and I give you such a wide window so you guys have the flexibility and that framework to plan your assignments to do them on the days that work best for you. Again, it's all about positioning you to be successful. If you submit an assignment in the wrong format and I cannot open it, you will earn a 0. I'm not doing do-overs. Am I trying to be difficult? No. But we got to keep this train moving forward. I've got roughly 140 plus students each semester. I got to make sure everyone's learning, that everybody is feeling good about the course, and we're not doing special treatment here, right? So we want to keep things fair and equitable, and there's a difference between equal versus equitable. We have a little bit of both here, equal and equitable, right? For the purpose of course submissions, it's got to be equal, right? You know, if you don't submit it in the right format, then you'll earn a 0. So you gotta pay attention, and it's very simple. Your papers are always doing MS Word or PowerPoint, and I say that. So don't send me something in Google Pages or Google Docs or whatever. It's nothing against Google, but the system has adopted specific software for this type of stuff, right? So you want to use your Microsoft Word because, again, if I can't open it, you've earned a 0. So just don't do that to yourself. If you've submitted it in the wrong Dropbox, I can't help you. You've earned a 0. So again, make sure you understand the learning management system. It has lights sometimes get in the way. I automatically drop the lowest assignment grade in each of the first 4 assignment categories, not your paper and presentation. So if we scroll back up here, and I've already built it into the grade book system, so you don't have to email or call me or whatever. It's already built in there. And again, this is to be fair across the board in terms of grading, right? So I dropped the lowest assignment grade in your weekly discussion post, the lowest assignment grade for your weekly prep, lowest article grade, case studies. So if there is a week where you just can't get something in and that your lowest grade is a 0 in that category, that gets dropped. Or if your lowest grade is something you're not happy with, no, it gets dropped, right? So I do build in lifelines because, again, I want you guys to succeed. I want to create a healthy sense of urgency. That's the key word, healthy sense of urgency. What else I want to talk to you guys about? There's the grading, read that. Critical success strategies. Again, please make time to read these emails. You must send an email to me from your JCC email. If you do not send it to me from your JCC email, I will not read it. I will not respond. I will delete it. Am I being difficult? No. There's something called FERPA, the Federal Education something. It's like what HIPAA is to health, where I cannot disclose information about you to somebody else, okay? That being said, I don't know if it's really you that's sending me an email from, it could be your first name dot last name from Yahoo or Gmail, whatever. How do I know that's not a helicopter parent or a significant other that's trying to impersonate you to get information? And then I unwittingly respond and be like, yeah, you did a great job, or no, you need to do this. Now, what did I just do? I just unwittingly revealed a whole bunch of information about you being in the course and what you're doing. Boom, bad idea. So in order for us to keep things clean and keep things tidy and protect your privacy, you must respond to me from your JCC email to my JCC email, or I will not respond to you for the reason stated, right? I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to protect you, protect your privacy. That being said, whatever your course you're in. So if you're in Business 139, Section I01 or Section I02, that needs to go in the email subject heading, along with a little next to it what your question is. Business BUS-139-I01 space discussion post for this week or whatever. If you're in 151, the same thing. Why? Because I want to make sure when the emails come in from you guys that you guys get the VIP status, right? If I see a student come in with one of my courses, whether seated or online, I see it in the subject, I want to make sure that I get back to you, sooner rather than later. So you guys know that. What else? Don't email me last minute, y'all, because if you email me, y'all got a good 2-week turnaround time. If you email me, how we doing on time? 30 minutes? I try to keep this to under 40. If you email me 5 hours before something's due, you're probably not going to hear back from me. Okay. 24 to 48 hour turnaround time, y'all. So plan accordingly. Okay. And weekends, not so much. All right. So get your questions to me Monday through Friday. Except during holidays. Of course, I will respond the following operational day. Keyword operational day, meaning when the college is open. Again, I talked about civility and respect, go through classroom expectations, read the religious or solemn observance policy, student concerns. If you have a concern, y'all come to me. In this day and age, it's ridiculous. Folks want to just go, they want to run to Twitter, they want to run to, come on, y'all. Where's showing folks respect? If you have a concern, come to me. I am very accessible. I am very approachable. Just come to me and let's work it out. Above all, by continuing this course and agreeing to the terms, I want you guys to enjoy the journey of this course and just learn and grow by leaps and bounds. That being said, let's now talk about what's going on here? All right. Now what I want to do is let's talk about your course. So, we already started talking about your course. So let's talk about announcements. So obviously check your announcements. Sometimes I schedule announcements, and when you schedule an announcement, you're not going to get the email notification. So you want to, as a good practice, make sure that you you should be logging into your course anyway. I say a good standard of practice is 3 days a week. Log into your course 3 days a week, maybe a Sunday or a Monday, and then midweek a Wednesday, and then maybe a Friday, right? Or just log in, because again, not all go out. By now you should have done your e-textbook, set that all up. That was part of your week 1 calendar. Don't rely solely on the calendar. Even though I use the calendar and you see some assignments here, they're not all populated as quickly as maybe some of you would like. So again, that's the reason why, as part of the syllabus, you've got your course announcement worksheet, because, and again, I spend a lot of time on that. That's the syllabus. Sorry, y'all. I got, like I said, this little thing that down here. I'm afraid to move it, y'all, because I don't want to I don't want to close out the video. Let's see, what's this one? Let's open it. Let's see. I don't want to close out the video. Here we go. So again, this is very helpful, and I spent a ton of time putting it together. Again, it's well worth it as far as I'm concerned, because students find value in it. So you see here the week, right? Week 1, we already talked about it. They correspond Tuesday to Tuesday to Tuesday. So each week, you already know, week 1, here's what you're responsible for, and here's when it's due. So week 1 opened up on the 7th. Here's what you're responsible for. It's due on the 21st. So like I said a minute ago, I give you guys a full 2-week turnaround time, right? The 7th, the 21st. So next week, so Tuesday coming up is week 2. That's what you're responsible for. It's due 2 weeks later on the 28th. So you see how that is? So roll that out. Make sure you go through over spring break. I don't give assignments over spring break. Again, you can work ahead with most things except the discussion post. Those I'd like to serve up freshly baked for you guys each week. I don't like stale discussion posts, so those will be freshly baked each week. Plus, it helps me to know that you're being active in the class as well, okay? And then you've got, again, the course assignment categories, and I've got a little bit more explanation on your research paper and presentation in both courses. So that being said, use that as opposed to your the calendar. Again, calendar is a good tool, right? But it's not always as up to date and forward looking as your course announcement, a course assignment worksheet schedule. As far as the discussion board, your discussion board is right here. Please make sure I discuss this at length as far as what I'm looking for. Read that. Again, I posted your first post a little early, so go ahead and have at it. Assignments. So let me explain to you about assignments, okay? So this is what I did. And this, again, same setup in all my online courses this semester. That would be 139 and 151. I try to put everything out there as much as possible out there for those of you who like to work ahead. That being said, some of you get overwhelmed by having everything like coming at you like that. So I created a system that gives you the best of both worlds. So again, always looking at your course assignment worksheet schedule. But for those of you who like to work ahead, I've got it broken down in the various categories, right? The only thing that's not here yet, and I will have this up by week 3 as I discussed, is the folder for your research, paper, and presentation. Otherwise, if you look at these folders, they mirror the assignment categories. You've got your weekly preps, you click on that, and boom, there's all your weekly preps. Again, pay attention to the individual due dates, which are also listed in your syllabus. Your articles, boom, I've got most of your articles there. You've got plenty to get started on and work ahead if you want to. Case studies, boom, you've got most of your case studies there to go ahead and start working on. And again, you'll have another folder for your research paper and presentation. For those of you who get overwhelmed, I get that. So I created for you, because again, I'm all about options. I'm all about scalability. I want everybody to succeed. You can click on, if this overwhelms you, right? And again, what you won't see here is the discussion post. Maybe this, I didn't think about that. I think maybe this semester I'll add a little discussion post folder and just link it there. Good thinking, y'all. See, good group work. Weekly experience folders. This view will actually give you the view based on each week, okay? So again, it's the same information as the course. Actually, what I do with the weekly experience folders is I just give you a cross section and pull in what is due each week. So this merely is for those students who get overwhelmed by all of that. You can just work out of your week experience folder, and you can see here, well, let's go back. You can see here, and I do kind of like little clever things. People seem to like them, and I have fun pulling them up with them. But week 1, which is what we're in, right? It started on the 7th. Week 1, have some fun while getting it done. And you see here, this literally is a copy of the week 1, what's on your course assignment schedule. And I add a few things in it. So what do you need to review? What do you need to read? What do you need to do? What do you need to refer to? And what do you need to be remember? And remember, I like to do catchy words. I'm a big words guy. And it's important to learn words and increase your vocabulary. And even if you think you know what a word means, I have the Webster's Dictionary, because a lot of times a word has multiple meanings. You're like, wow, it helps make you more richer in terms of your vocabulary and your vernacular. So I reiterate what's due each week. And then when you click on it, literally, these are the links to the various folders. Does that make sense? So for those students who, again, get overwhelmed by all of that being available, you can work out of the weekly experience folders. And I call them experience folders for a reason. So what I will add to this, like I said, if we go back to our assignment folder, I will add a research paper and presentation folder. And I think in talking this through, I'll add a discussion post folder, which again will just be another window or view into the discussion board, okay? Grades, your grades are always up to date in terms of give me a 2-week turnaround time. Papers, longer papers and things a little bit longer, but I try to keep your grades up to date, within a 2-week turnaround time, because it's important that you know where you stand at all times. If you have help, and if you need help, please utilize the Library Learning Resource Center. It's an amazing resource. Utilize JOLT. And that's it, y'all. Have fun. I look forward to working with you throughout the weeks. Please feel free to reach out to me. Email always works best, or Skype me during office hours. And that being said, y'all, peace out. Have a wonderful, wonderful